Okay, so they gave me a topic, and I want to start this topic this way. How many of you believe school is a scam? Let me see your hands up. How many of you believe school na scam? Let's not pretend, oh, the camera is not showing you, don't worry, so nobody will look at you. How many of you, or we all believe in school? We all believe in school. Are you serious? But some of you are shouting school has scam, school has scam. Because I believe almost everybody feels school is a scam because it's not what you studied that you end up doing, right? So is school a scam or not? It is. No, we need to be frank with ourselves. So today I'll be talking about something, investing in yourself. Investing in yourself. The value of education, skills development, and financial literacy for sustainable success. The value of education, skills development, and financial literacy for sustainable success. Why I started with the saying school na scam is because gone are the days where you actually do what you study. In the days of my fathers where they studied medicine and they became medical doctors, or our dad is here where they studied engineering and they actually became engineering. Now you can find a medical doctor being a tailor or a fashion designer. Three of us. And we now pride skills more than what we studied, right? Hand skills. But we fail to understand that whether school na scam or not, it is important. We seem to forget the main purpose of school. School is not just for you to go and sit down to listen to teachers and they teach you a subject. School is meant for meeting people. School is meant for getting contact. It's meant for building relationship. Some of us feel school is just for us to go sit down and be taught. And at the end of the day, they give you a certificate that you do not need. But there are so many of us that right now, the school at which we went with, some of the people there, we are still close to them up to now. Is that right? And some of those people are very valuable to us in our growth in life. This young man here, I'm shocked I'm seeing, when I saw the flyer, I was wondering, is he in Abuja? We went to secondary school together. Although, let me boast, I was a senior. But when I saw him, I didn't know he was even in Abuja. I just saw his picture and I was asking Savior, this young man is here. This guy disturbed me while in secondary school, very stubborn. But the relationship is what brought him here now. And seeing him, I'm like, wow, this is someone that we are in school together. We didn't even relate that much. But look at what he's doing in his field. And after now, I've told him, Lily, we end there. We are going somewhere to go and continue the discussion. Maybe he would tell me the money he has made, how I can be part of that money. But we fail to understand that education, this thing we call school na scam, it's not a scam because some of the relationships we have is as a result of the school we went to. And that is one purpose for school. That is one purpose for education. It's not just about the knowledge, but it's about the relationship. A very wise man said, what you do not get by revelation, you get by relationship. The things you do not get by the school you went to, some of us studied agriculture. And we knew that course we studied was not going to help us in any aspect of our life. But because we wanted to enter school, and you know that now most of us are probably into graphic design. People that studied agriculture are now doing graphic design. How did it relate? Well, we fail to understand that it's not just about the education or the knowledge we learned, but the process that took us to that graphic design. It's a training school on its own. So, no matter how we can say school is a scam, we need to understand the role it plays in our life, the value of education. Today we are sitting here speaking. There are so many of you that are better than me in English language, that you articulate more. When you speak, it's as though you came from England. That is the role of education. There are some people here that they cannot speak well, and when they go out in public, they are afraid to relate with other people. Why? Because they do not know how to express themselves. Am I right? There are times we go to gatherings and everyone is discussing, but we tend to withdraw ourselves back because we do not know how to relate to that person. We do not have anything to offer in that conversation. Then you have a think again, is education important? It is. So we need to understand the value of education. And we need to understand that these three things I mentioned, education, skills development, and financial literacy, are actually the three pillars if we want to have sustainable success. Education, skills development, financial literacy, these are actually the three pillars if we must maintain sustainable success. We cannot undervalue education, no matter how we try. We say skills is more important than education. But the question I ask you today is, how did you learn that skill? Did you wake up and you had the skills? You had to school to learn it, right? Either by watching videos online, either by going to a graphic design school, or someone sitting down to teach you. It's also a means of schooling. It's a means of education. So if we must attain sustainable success, if we must turn our passion into profit, we must understand the value of education in this system. No matter how we can say the educational system has failed us, no matter how it is that when we end up studying what is not relevant to us, it doesn't matter. The role at which education was created was to not just build us in terms of knowledge, but build us in terms of character, build us in terms of attitude, build us in terms of relationship. So I would say education is very important. Very, very important. No matter how we try to downplay it, the value of education is very important. Then we talk about skills development. If there is one thing I love, if there's one thing I pride myself, and if there's one thing I enjoy doing, it's self-development. Self-development. If you do not have anything to offer, then you are unvaluable. You all wouldn't understand the importance of self-development until the thing you learned 5 years ago become obsolete. It's no longer useful. For those of you, how many of you are in the IT field here? Let me just see you raise your hand. How many of you are in the IT field? Whichever form of IT, graphic design, social media marketing, whichever field. Now, do you know the thing you claimed to know 3 years ago? Did I say 3 years ago? Last year is not as relevant as it is this year. What you said you were so good at, you know, it is so bad that every day I have to check what is the latest development. If truly we must remain relevant in this system and we want to remain successful, we do not want, because see, this self-development doesn't just relate to IT or the various professions. Let me use a practical example. We have mechanics, right? Cars keep coming up every day. Is that true? We had Toyota Corolla 2005, we have 2006, 2007. And you know, for each year they produce a car, there is a little change to that car. Now, if you go and give a mechanic that was working with you 10 years ago, that mechanic was so good, but the mechanic refused to develop himself, and you go and buy a 2020 model of Toyota Corolla and go and give a mechanic of 10, 15 years that was still handling push and start, that understood that you must pump the gas because you are driving manual, pump the gas, then push it to start. If that man handles your car, you might start pushing that 2022 model to start. Why? Because he has not developed himself. We feel we know it all. I've already studied this course. I've already developed myself. Let me use my sister here. She's a photographer. I'm sure that camera she's holding, it's not the camera she started with when she started photography. Is that right? Because if it's the same camera she's using when she started photography, she won't be here. Because you can't snap me with that type of, there's one camera that they use. I don't know if you have seen those cameras where when you snap, the picture will come out. You know that kind of camera, right? That when you snap it, the picture, you wait for it to come out. Then there are some you will now do like this. This guy, let's say you don't use that well. You will now do like this. So that the thing will come out. Now imagine if she brought that camera to snap us here. We'll look at her as someone that is not serious. You don't want money. You're not looking for money. You're not relevant in the society. Now what does she have to do? She has to go back and say, okay, I'm a photographer. I need to develop. I need to know what the latest photography sets. I need to buy this gadget. I need to buy this gadget. I need to go online and see the latest posture. There are so many things. It's not just about knowing a thing, but how can you keep improving on that thing? That is what skills development is all about. That is what self-development is. It's not just about knowing a thing, but it's about getting better in that thing in order to stay relevant. The key word we need to understand is staying relevant in this day and age. In order for you to have sustainable success, then we must understand the need to remain relevant. Remain relevant. Let me use another example of fashion designers. You say you do not want to develop. How many fashion designers do we have? Remember, we first started with the word called tailors. People generally we are called tailors. I want to go and give my tailor. Then they used to sew this type of clothes that the hand there with the big. It was shoulder pad. That was the trending fashion. Am I right? Now, as times change, as the age, as we grew, people no longer. There's a cloth, a suit. I gave a tailor to sew for me. I just hope he's not watching this. If he's watching, I did not like the suit though. The suit is still in my house up to now. There's a suit I gave a tailor to sew. In this present time and age, who even wants giveaway so that I can bring the suit and give somebody here? This guy gave me shoulder pad with my broad chest. I wore shoulder pad and I was like this. I cannot wear it. I've not worn that suit out of my room. The suit is there in my wardrobe. And you expect me to give that tailor back to sew clothes for me? No, that is the last the tailor sew for me. I don't mind traveling to Maraba to look for another tailor. Now, imagine he was good in his time. Everyone patronized him in his time. But he felt, I'm good. Everyone has been patronizing me. There is no need to develop myself. They will stick up. Yeah, we have this popular saying, if it's your customer, they will stick up. Forget it all. The fact that the person has been patronizing you, if you do not develop yourself, they'll look for someone that has developed and can bring creativity. That is the word. Everything now is about creativity, coming up with new styles. In the IT industry, you design a website that looks like you click, it will take you 10 hours before the page loads. Nobody will reach out to you. So we need to understand that skills development, self-development is very important if we must remain relevant in this day and age. Now, some of you will ask me, when we are talking about education and we are talking about skills development, these two look different. What I studied doesn't have anything to do with the skills I'm applying today. Remember, I said education is not only about going to school. Every day we learn, it's a means of education. The skills you are learning is a means of education. The fact that you didn't go and sit down in a school and they are teaching you doesn't mean, you see, I was trying to finish before they showed me paper. They showed me paper already. The fact that we didn't go to sit down in school doesn't mean we are not learning. Then the last thing, financial literacy. Remember, I said these three things are the three pillars for sustainable success. financial literacy. I'm not a financial expert. But there's one thing I'll let you know is, if you're not able to plan your finances, then don't bother trying to have a sustainable, don't try being successful. Because as the money comes in, the money will go out. If you do not have, you don't need to be an accountant to have financial literacy. You don't need to know balance carried up and balance carried down. I was talking to the people in my house yesterday. I was trying to explain to them how to make budgets and certain things. And I told them, me, I have this simple way I work. I'm not good in saving per se. That is the area of my wife. But there's one strategy I do. Once the month starts, I write my expenses for that month, my budget. Like week 1, this is the project I want to achieve. Week 2, this is my project. Week 3, this is my budget. Week 4, the month has finished. I've already allocated resources for that month. Anything that comes outside that month, if somebody just comes and says, I need to do this, if I just happen to see an opportunity that you need to do this, what I do is, after I have created my budget, I look for if there is a space within this budget I created to add these little things, which it doesn't affect my savings. Remember, when you get the phone, you remove your. Mommy talked about turning passion into profit, and she also mentioned a little bit about investing. Once I remove my savings and I've made my project, no matter how urgent your need is, if there is no room for it in my budget, I will tell you, please, can you wait till next month? Because I need to make another budget for you. You cannot, because of your need, make me to spend money that I've not put in my budget. Let me give a little example. Just yesterday, this morning, my wife needed me to do something for her, to help her get something. And she already knows the way I operate. I already have the plan for this week. The moment the week starts, I will say, okay, what are the budgets? I check it and I send the money out. I don't want to hear there is another need that you didn't tell me about yesterday, you forgot because I was sleeping. I asked from the beginning of the week, please give me your plans and budget, because I also have my plans and budget. Now, the reason why I do this is because I make budget for church, I make budget for house, I make budget for, you cannot come and kill yourself in this life, let me flex. It's important. You need to learn that mental health is also important too. You work from now till next year, and you didn't take care of your mental health. When you break down, the money will not come in. Remember that diagram Mommy showed where self-owner, business owner, we are working every day. We have to keep working. We have not reached the category like Mr. Savior where we now pay salary. They pay us salary. So if you do not take care of your mental health and you break down, somebody else will collect the money for you. Am I right? So after you remove your money for church, you remove money for household, you remove money for your well-being, you remove money for families, you now remove for your savings. Now you need to understand that anything that is not within this budget and it is not a necessity can wait. Because needs never stop coming. You need to understand that needs. I was talking to someone, let me wrap up with this. I was talking with someone, and the person said, when you are earning 50,000, your needs surrounds 50,000. It's like people know it's 50,000 you are earning, right? The problem people will be bringing is around 15,000 naira. It's spiritual, though. The moment they increase your salary to 80,000, the problem you begin to have is around that 80,000. It doesn't pass 80,000. I don't know how it happens. The moment your salary increases to 500,000, your problem increases to 500,000. If you do not know how to manage that money well, you realize that you are spending more than what is coming in at the end of the day. So financial literacy, self-development, and education, all these three things combine together to give us the three pillars for sustainable success. Remember, if you must stay relevant in this day and age, you must keep developing yourself. Thank you very much.